Okay. Commissioner Boone, if you'll use an invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for being there this moment today. Thank you, Lord, for waking us up this morning and starting us on our way with the peaceful portion of our life that we stray. Father God, I ask you to be with us during this meeting, dear Lord. Let something be said of the that for the betterment of the town of Siler City and its citizens. Lord, let us take into consideration everything that has been said and done and due to your Lord. These and other blessings I ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Here's somebody in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our mission statement.
Advance a framework for our success in balanced governance, dynamic partnerships, and an engaged community.
Mr. Brown, you'll read our vision statement.
The city is a safe, prosperous, collaborative community for diversity, innovation, and education. Drive success in a globally competitive society.
Thank you, sir. Thank you both. Are there any adjustments to our agenda?
No, sir.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Then moved upon the second agenda be approved, let all in favor, let it be known by a sign of aye. All opposed having the same right. Hearing none, motion carried.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Then moved upon the second that consent agenda be approved. All in favor, let it be known by a sign of aye. All opposed having the same right, hearing none, motion. All right, do we have anyone for public comment? First up would be Ms. Jeff Price, if you'll come, state your name and address.
I want to.
He probably want a public hearing for the
Yeah,
budget. Did you have him written down the wrong one? He's a public hearing.
Oh, okay, so put it.
We'll switch into public hearing.
And on this down, it's saying,
Same.
okay. Thank you. We have the core presentation. And if you would come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Melissa Garber, and I'm the executive director of Florence County. We've been in this community, Southern Chatham County, for 36 years now, as one of your local food communities. We're very excited that as of July 1st, we're going to be expanding even further within the county, and we'll set up our second choice pantry here in Siler City. We're nearing the end of the merger with West Chatham Food Pantry, and as of July 1st, we'll take over their operations and begin serving the big side of the county. To give you a little bit of information about Cora, our mission, I always like this because I feel like it's something my grandmother might say, our mission more or less is just feed. Several years ago during the strategic planning process, we made a very focused effort to add nutritious food to our mission. So Cora provides nutritious food to community members facing food insecurity. Rather than me tell you the story of Cora, I want to see if our video will work. It was very well done. And as they say, a picture says 1,000 words. Hopefully this video will too.
Hi. We made it to Hubble for 2 minutes to spare. Thank you for the word.
It's not even on there.
Oh, you can hear it.
There you
They made it a huddle. There, thank you for the good, the rest of the week, are all. You know where our fathers are, we got our leaders. A little bit of line, you guys gonna take those too? All right, so quote, we have quote. And then if you want to share your version. All right. May we all have a vision now and then of a world where every neighbor is a friend. Happy New Year. But I thought this was beautiful. Trevor, what was your vote?
It's all beautiful, and even if a lot of it about doing it. Yeah.
All right. Let's see that. What's happening?
Yes, so it's been a tremendous impact on the community for families like myself who moved this year and the really volunteers that reach out the door and it just makes you feel welcome and not just love us and also that.
A choice manager is manager that's set up like your grocery store. And allows people the ability to come direct shop, just like they would in a grocery store. Having a choice pantry is so important because coming in and asking for help is difficult, especially when you're facing things like food insecurity or housing issues. Asking for help is hard. For us, and I'm going to have to just roll into as a by allowing people to come here and shop. Here's some situations that I'm gonna realize.
Is there any way to mute those TVs? That's what's causing the delay, that TV and that TV, or maybe just one of them.
They can get food, but it's most personal and most relevant now. I really love your name, everybody, love your name, talk, you love us so much, it's just get to know people.
Of course, it's to be those community based on your security. Our vision is truly in the community but
You know, last year alone, we accommodated 9,100 visits. That's more than the entire population of Chatham County. It's enough to be literally every person in Chatham County for this money.
it's just hard as a single parent trying to get food last one is not up to the base. Community.
35% of all food produced in the United States are also people that read these. Why English is so hungry.
The need in Chatham County is vast. It's interesting to learn because there's so many great things happening in Chatham County. It's really vibrant, diverse, and growing community. So with so much growth and so much good going on, you can tend to overlook those that are struggling to get to the groceries and those facing hunger and food insecurity.
Alright, so my family is very hard times, but I have to put it down. And then I'm on my God. You have to play all of these, all of these together, no sé, pues tengo que nada, tengo que hablar y cuando me decían la necesidad que quería positivo, para ayudar a la familia, pues, pero esa familia, ¿me acuerdan?
There was a time in my life that I was struggling, I lost my phone. And the next day I was pregnant with my son. And there was no place in my community. I wish I was exploring as you know, across the county, across the state, of how communities can come together and let people love and treat them with dignity and respect. I'm very grateful that I have today, we have this as something that I do. And I think that is so important to what we do, it's exactly what we do. Being new mom and not having enough food for my family was terrifying. And I think that, of course, it's amazing that I feel when someone comes in, or a father comes in, or an elderly, or someone who's new to this country, and I need help, that they can find here and they can get care.
Volunteering at Cora is a real plus. Everybody else is here for the same reasons, to press the times, to give back, be very non-judgmental about taking care of our neighbors. It's always more blessed to be able to give than be on receiving.
It's really important to go and offer food to families who can't afford to go get food. I know it's supplemental, so that helps fill in the gaps that we may have.
One of the things I really need is team. People who are very willing to help. The teamwork has to be with volunteers, you're triggering to all people who can bring food in, do food drives, any donations, all that. Really just included from the game.
I also really love our own tradition of creating community without hunger, and the reason that I love it is because I really believe it's achievable.
A lot of things go on in people's lives, they don't have control. But nobody can ever stop us from being kind to each other.
So that last visual that you're saying is for voting market, and we have on the last Tuesday of each month out at Calvin Technology Way, just beside the hospital. We've been doing that since 2019. We will no longer do that once we open the Choice Pantry here. But just in a 2-hour time period, one time a month, it's not unusual at all for us to serve over 200 families. There's a lot of need in Chatham County, as was said, if you don't mind going forward, as was said in the video. Last year, by the end of June 30th, we had accommodated 91,000 requests for food assistance. That's more than the population of Chatham County that we fed for an entire week. We're very excited to have this opportunity to further and deepen our services in the western part of the county. About 26% of the population in Chatham County is considered low income. About 10% of the population lives out below the poverty level. And honestly, we serve anybody that walks in the door. Earlier, I was explaining that we try to make our service as low barrier as possible. If you come and you need food, we're going to help you get food. You do not have to provide proof of income, proof of residency, proof of anything. We have a simple one-page form that we ask you to fill out just so that we can have some demographic data. But really, at the end of the day, all we have to have is your name, the number of people in your family, and some method of contacting you. The main reason we want a contact method is so that if there's ever a very serious recall in food, that we can get in touch with you. If you go ahead. We serve people in a variety of ways. You've heard me mention the pantry. Now we will have 2 choice pantries, one in Pittsburgh and one in Siler City. We have our mobile markets. We've had the one here in Siler City. We'll be closing that one down once we open up the second choice pantry site. But we have a second mobile market up in the Nature Trail community near Governor's Club. We're hoping in the coming year to establish pop-up markets at least once a quarter in some of the smaller communities around the area. We have a program that we've been running since 2009 called SNAP. It's Summer Nutritional Assistance for Chatham Kids. Some of you may be familiar with that. We partner with, this year I believe it's 12 sites around the county to offer food to children when they are not in school. They'll come and pick up a box of food that's got enough in it to feed them for 3 meals a day, plus 2 snacks, plus milk, plus juice, plus produce for every day that they are at home over the summer. And during the year, we have a Chloroplax program that's a spin on a traditional backpack program. We were finding a lot of children didn't want to participate in the backpack program because frankly, it's really hard to be the poor kid in a wealthy school. You don't want to be seen being different from your friends. And so if you're taking that extra bag or box of food home on Fridays, you stand out. Chloroplax is different because we pack up that food, we send it to their front door via DoorDash, and it arrives in a large box, and it's enough food for every day that they are not in school, whether that's just Saturdays or Sundays, or teacher work days and holidays. So they're getting quite a bit of food delivered to their front door so that they don't have to deal with the stigma of looking like someone who's different. Last year alone, we served over 1.8 million meals. This year, we're on track to serve close to 2 million. Next year, it'll be more than that. As I mentioned last year, we had 91,000 requests for food. We'll probably close out the year at around 100,000 this year. Next year, I anticipate it will be 130 or 140. We, like I said, focus a lot on produce this year at 1,000 pounds of food and 12,000 unique individuals served. Now, I do want to bounce back and mention with produce, we lost funding this year due to federal cuts. We've lost a $48,000 grant through the local food purchase assistance program that provided funding for farmers to grow food locally to provide school systems and food pantries and food banks like ours. We've also lost 70% of our allocation through the emergency food assistance program. And it's my understanding that the commodity supplemental food program, which was specifically aimed at serving seniors, has also been shut down. So we're making this merger in a very difficult time. We're aiming to serve 30 to 40% more people at a time where we're losing close to $300,000 worth of food. And I say all that so that I can say if any of you are interested in helping us, there are an enormous number of volunteer opportunities in the pantry and through many of our programs. We're always appreciative of time and talent and funds that are donated to us. And we do all this so that we can address food insecurity all throughout the county. If you don't mind going ahead one. We want to do that both in Pittsboro and here in Siler City. 29% of the residents in Siler City live at or below the poverty level. About 50 to 60% of the folks, I guess actually I should say 60 to 70% of the folks that have come to Cora historically come from the western part of the county. So we know the need is here. And we're so excited as of July 1st to be able to meet that need. We anticipate we'll serve an additional 1,000 families or accommodate 21,000 visits. I suspect I should revise that number and say that it will be higher next year. With cuts looming to SNAP and the other programs that I mentioned, more people throughout the entire county are going to have issues facing food insecurity. So we're relying on community involvement. We've done a tremendous amount of outreach. This is why I'm here tonight to let you know what we're doing and ask for your engagement, but we'll be hosting food drives to stock the pantry. We'll be meeting with local businesses, local community groups, hoping to attract volunteers, all in the hopes that we can form collaborative efforts to better serve the entire county. And that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have, and happy to give you my business card if you'd like to reach me directly. I encourage you to come out to Cora, either in Pittsburgh or here in Siler City. We'll be in the Child Coach building, which is 421 North, and we're very excited to be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
How did you go about making monetary donation?
You can go to our website, which is corafoodpantry.org. Or you can write checks.
I want to thank you for all that you do and all that you are attempting to do in this trying time, and you know the way it is trying. But again, thank you. Take our hats off to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
For public hearing.
Make a motion to open public hearing.
Public hearing be open, yeah, all in favor, let me know by sign by. All opposed having the same right, hearing none, it is open.
Vote, this you want to leave that?
Yeah.
Each speaker is asked to limit comments to 3 minutes. The Board of Commissioners will not answer any questions or concerns until the public comment is closed. You will hear the bell ring at 30 seconds left on the timer, and 2 rings when time is up. Thank you for your consideration of the town board staff and other speakers.
Thank you, sir. We still have the same 2 individuals, no added names.
Just those two.
All right, again, I'm going to call for, Mr. Jim Price, if you'll come forward and state your name and address.
Jim Price, 301 South Dogwood Avenue, and Commissioner, Mayor, Town Manager, pleasure to be in front of you this evening, and I take my hat off to you. I know you got a hard job. But I'm here tonight. I read through the proposed budget. When I read through it, I came up with more questions than I had answers. So I've been on the phone today a lot with town staff, and they have directed some of it, but I still think there's things that need to be discussed. And some of the questions that I have, first of all, where the proposal was written, the tax neutral rate is 27 cents. Which tax neutral means, to me, that's what the rate would need to be to raise the same amount of money as the budget last year. And that was 27 cents, opposed to go to 54, that's 27 cent increase. But my understanding is there may be something wrong. Second of all, 30 of our employees gone to Santa. Doesn't look like that was, figured in anywhere, but that was also out of the enterprise fund. And it all may have come out of there, but it should have been some decrease somewhere. Associated with that, I noticed we want to buy a backup. Town has a backup, sitting over there in the garage, had it for some time. But I also understand that may be in the enterprise fund, and we quite possibly have given that to Sanford without any accommodation. I also noticed that there was some water and sewer expenses in there. We don't have one, as of July 1st, won't be any water or sewer. I think we need a further explanation of what that is. I also understand that simply given the water to Sanford, and they're gonna be doing, now the town's gonna have a water field that we're gonna have to pay. And along with that, I also understand that the town is having to supply a facility for Dry River or whatever they're called to accept billing here so the citizens can pay their bill with no compensation from Sanford. So that's something that needs to be addressed. Next thing I saw, put in a bathroom, bowling lane park. And which maybe we do need that, if we're in such financial shape, we have to have such an increase. We need to do that now. And lastly, pickleball courts. That's a popular thing. Well, my question is, why do we have to do that now? That's something we don't have to do. And also, how many town citizens use pickleball courts? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Next up is Miss, Darren.
Good evening, Cindy Dameron, 2108 Elwood, Highway 54 West, City. I'm kind of redundant on some of what Chip said, but I do have a couple of questions, that hopefully they can get answered tonight, if not in a by July 1. First one was the 2021 audit, my understanding, it hasn't ever been completed because I was under the impression that it was tied to Pride River and the merger of that. I went back to the notes, couldn't find anything on that. And again, like I said, with the backhoe, my understanding is that, Pride Rivers is to receive, when they take over the water and sewer, and the management of waste management, that they got everything that was ever purchased under that, enterprise fund, which is all equipment. And again, I just would like to know if that's true, because that would be computers, equipment, everything. And then, lastly, or not lastly, but again, with showing the revenue, of $8 million in the budget. But is that true, since that revenue is based off of water and sewer revenue? And as of July 1, that revenue won't come this out of private. And property evaluation. It's kind of being in the real estate business. I do understand that valuations went up, almost double. And you feel like you're doing the taxpayers a favor by holding it at 54 cents. If you're gonna hold it at 54 cents and be neutral, then you need to reduce their values. Because it's not, you're doubling it, almost like you're doubling the revaluation. So, it isn't neutral. It's a price increase. And, here again, I didn't see any reflection of the number of employees that will be transferred over to the payroll of Pride River. I didn't see any reduction in their salaries to accommodate. I've heard all sorts of numbers, 20, 30, I don't know how many you're going, but that's a lot, that has shown. Reduction in in their, in your salaries. And the pickleball courts, right now we're playing, Chip, I disagree, we need them. I'm a pickleball player, Cindy's a pickleball player, that was beautiful. But we're not paying anything now because it's open gym. So I'm not sure where the $20 or how it's gonna be enforced or where it's gonna be enforced or whatever. So I guess open gym, if anybody has open gym, then everybody will be paying money for that. And hopefully I can get it by the 30th. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
That was. I mean, the motion comes.
Any motion closed in your public comment?
Sorry.
The moved on second public, hearing been closed. All in favor, let me know by sign of aye. All opposed having the same right. Hearing none, public hearing is officially closed. I think that some of the questions that need to be answered first, more than likely should come from you, John, if you would come forward. I hope you, wrote some of this stuff down, if not, I'm sure some of it.
Very poor penmanship.
Okay, all right.
So from the top down, the tax neutral, so, revenue neutral is just. How do you generate the same amount of money from last year? So, when we were adopting the budget last year, our estimated tax valuation for the town wide was $683 million. And at a 54-cent rate, that would generate 3.6 million. For fiscal year 26, our estimated total valuation is 1.357 billion. Which again, double, but a large portion of that, in the amount of 433 million, was just Wolfspeed wasn't on the estimated tax roll last year, and this year it is. So without factoring that in, the revenue neutral rate is 27. Taking out that 433 million from Wolfspeed, that would bring a total net valuation of the town to 923 million. So that so the revenue neutral rate for that would be 40 cents, not 27. But because it's just purely how do we generate 3.69 million, that is where the 27 comes from. The vast majority of the Wolfspeed stuff is there's an economic incentive agreement, so it's paid out. The next comment, enterprise fund employees. So that has no impact on general fund, that is off in enterprise fund. Water sewer backhoe. That was I forgot what year it was purchased, but that was purchased with enterprise fund money, which was generated from utility bills, not taxes. So part of the agreement is just basically our water and sewer fund picks up to Siler City and just moves over there. If all of its assets, all of its liabilities, one of its assets happen to be back. We can share it, we can share it now when the town owns both the utility system and the town, but after that, we can't, so. Yes, the town will have to start paying utility bills for all water sewer bills for all of the properties. That's estimated to be about 25,000, and that's in budgeted in 10,500, 1,500. The town payment, town not receiving payment for the downstairs to take water bills. So in the merger agreement, we were to provide space. The fair market value of some of that to lease it out, which we wouldn't lease it out to anything other than utility bill payments. It would be roughly $15,000 a year, which if it makes it convenient for all of our residents, I feel that's pretty defensible. The bowling bathroom, sorry, he just said it. I don't really have anything to say about it, like that's beyond me. The 21 audit has been filed, the 22 has not been yet. Have you share any, I try to give monthly financial data, so if anything there, have you provide. The 30 budget, we just have to pass one because we still own it, we're still technically there, it's gonna evaporate day one budget. And no employees, and yes, the reduction in employees for utilities, that would all just be, all of their salary expenditures are out of the 30 fund budget, not the 10 fund budget, so it has no impact.
and the $20 pickleball, I think it's in fee schedule in the program.
It's a league, you
It'll be a league, so-
can join a league and they play each other or they're playing their towns and cities. So it's not $20 to play at Ramsey, see if you wanna join the league.
As I couldn't,
Instead of, when you, it's all people, they get, when we get a whole league for.
right.
Receive.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Done.
Any, any of the movers?
Thank you, Director. Total board.
We thank you, and we thank you for your concerns and your questions about this. All of your questions were answered, and if there's any more concerns as we go through this, just feel free to contact and get more answers, but I will commend the board and staff to putting together a pretty conservative budget. We've had some things that has to be done to make improvements to our town, and we really, in some places, removed some stuff so it wouldn't be a bigger burden. And so again, I thank the staff and the board for looking at this. And board players, the pleasure at this time.
Mayor, I'd like to say something regarding the bowling lane restrooms.
Yes, go right ahead.
I want to echo the same sentiment that Chet Price said. The amount, $135,000. I've looked into this. I think we can certainly go as low as $50,000 and propose a unisex bathroom. We had discussed too about the locks that automatically lock at a certain time, so we don't have to burden the police department. They don't have to come there. It'll all be on clock. And at this point too, more importantly, we won't even know if we have sewer allocation for this project, but I think we should change that line item significantly. All the way down to 50 grand, I believe 135 is stupid.
Well, if we don't spend the 135.
Exactly.
But I understand, but I believe it creates an incentive to not look for other cheaper alternatives.
Well,
And I think that's just an economic reality. Lower the price, these folks are gonna find something that's a little bit cheaper and more fitting for what we're desiring. I think $50,000 is completely fair. When you think about what it is, it's a simple structure. Maybe it has an exhaust fan, it has a roof, doesn't need to be that hot. This is a bathroom we're discussing. We don't need $135,000 for a lot of money.
in response to that, we have already started the process of trying to do this cheaper. I was in the presence at the county budget meeting. There was a young man here that is a school teacher and teaches shop. And he was willing to bring his class to help build this bathroom and help us with that. So your concerns are duly noted, but we have already looked for a cheaper way to do this.
We allocate the money now, though, we're gonna find an excuse to spend the money on something else. This happens all the time in government. Let's lower the amount of money so the monies aren't spent. That way we can run the budget even more conservatively and save the money for the taxpayer. You're already advocating that you could lower this price significantly, this partnership that you're talking about. Why not just lower the money? You know it's too high. Let's just go ahead and do it. Because if we don't spend the money, it can get spent on something else. Something else that we don't plan on right now.
That's exactly where
What's the point?
say. If it doesn't get spent here, it will be spent somewhere else.
Exactly. Why do we want to give that avenue of potential? Why don't we just eliminate it now and just lower the amount?
You can put it on other capital projects. Remember, we had a list of 50 capital projects.
We have a lot of capital projects in the books, but this is what we're talking about now for this year.
And so then
I
if it's
just-
not spent, we can do an allocation, move it to another capital project.
But what I'm advocating for is why not just spend the money at all? Why just not spend it? Looks better.
You don't really,
You don't want the bathrooms at all,
No, we want the bathrooms. It's the 135 there. It's too hot.
but you don't know you can
I-
get it
I've
for
actually-
50,000.
Is that I do actually. I've spoken to someone who has looked into purchasing modular. They bought one for their job site. They use one permanent. There's $20,000, a modular bathroom. Hooked up the sewer. That is a fraction of that $135,000.
And the very next thing that's gonna come to us is that modular bathroom is not suitable. We're talking about a brick and mortar structure,
Sure,
and that modular is not.
it doesn't.
And over time, with accounting for use and wear and tear, we'll be right back to where we are with this. And that, I was
Okay, a very simple building materials, it doesn't have to be elegant, it's. The bathroom, and a park.
Thank you.
So you don't wanna lower it enough, nobody wants to lower that enough,
We're
over 35,000.
talking about the bathroom, you were one of the main advocates to have a nice bathroom and get a bathroom there.
Get a bathroom back.
Because you're being told by your constituents that there needed to be a bathroom, so when we looked at the bathroom. We wanted to make it similar to the ones in other parks. And that's where we came up with the brick and mortar structure, we wanted something secure, we also talked about having the cameras. This is how we're coming up with the 135, but if it's not spent, I'd rather have it budgeted. Than have to do a budget amendment later to get more money in. For revenue that we didn't budget for. I'd rather have it equal to the revenue. And which it is, and so because it's equal, if we take it out, we're gonna have to put it somewhere else, because it balances at 13. So it's gonna go somewhere, it's gotta stay balanced,
Why not have a surplus? Why not pay off debt? Why not allocate the money for roads that?
but it's still going somewhere, it's not coming out.
It's necessarily be capital.
It's still coming out.
You're talking about,
Capital.
you're talking about comparable bathrooms, the bathrooms in Washington Park are costing $35,000.
Well, here's
Not when we built it in, but now it is.
That's where,
That's not-
y'all shouldn't be with this. If you remember correctly, and I'm not wanting to get in any kind of contest, but if you remember correctly. When we left here, the last meeting about this budget. The question was asked and answered. Is everybody okay with this budget? And-
Nobody allowed to change their opinion.
Excuse me. Let me finish. And the answer was yes.
So no one's allowed to change their opinion.
And that's not what I'm saying. You had 4 different, this is the 5th meeting on
6
this
weeks
budget.
ago.
5 different meetings. We've been to this. And it's kind of productive to keep from the board itself to do this.
Why not go to the unisex bathroom and slash it in half?
Because you don't know what the cost will be,
It's gonna be significantly more.
but you don't know that.
Absolutely, the structure is smaller, it's per square
You
foot,
do
that's how
not
these,
know
no, Mayor, that's
that.
how these things are calculated, based on square footage of a construction project. I
But
know a
as you
little bit
build-
about this.
Well, anyway, thank you for your.
Okay, I brought it up, I wanted to address it for my constituents, because that very line item has been highlighted. Not just from the folks who spoke tonight, by a whole bunch of people I've talked to, so they're not the only ones echoing the sentiment. It's an egregious amount of money, if you allocate it now, you're gonna spend it later. That is the story of government, I'm trying to stop that from happening, money will get spent on something else, you're gonna allocate the money, that's what spend the money.
I just told you that if it's not spent in this, it will be allocated to another capital project.
Exactly.
And one of the main reasons it's in the budget is because you were telling us that your constituents were telling you that they wanted it.
Because you guys collectively decided without my consent to remove the porta john from my neighborhood in my district. That's the reality of the story. These folks got together and decided that, no, you guys got together and decided that this was some kind of liability to get rid of this porta john that was supposedly was not ADA compliant. My constituents come to me and say, Alec, where's the bathroom at? I said, I don't know. The mayor decided, along with town staff, that it was illegal. And that's the story of the bathroom that we used to have.
Now,
That was
if you
basically free.
if you really want
Absolutely.
to tell about this, tell the truth.
No, that is the
Because
truth.
we did not
You
say
got-
anything about these bathrooms being illegal. And quite frankly, Alex, this is not the time and place to.
No, it absolutely is. This is the time to talk about this.
If you want to make a scene.
I already am. I'm making a scene right now in front of the courtroom.
Well, that's fine, but we heard you, we said, okay, but that doesn't mean now it's time to vote one way or the other.
You were the one who decided to get rid of the bathroom based on an anonymous call from someone who said it was not ADA compliant.
There was also a call of complaints. People did not like where it moved from, and there
we said-
were people that lived in that neighborhood.
Drug use is happening in there. We can't help people who break the law, so we have to punish everybody else by denying them a right to a bathroom because people were using illicit materials.
So once
They
again,
were doing drugs.
you were the one telling us about complaints from your constituents.
Not regarding that, I didn't know about that, that was news to me, I was telling you that they told me the bathroom was gone, I didn't know because the conversation was never discussed again. You guys had that conversation without me, that's my neighborhood, my district, this is my own personal, I want it for my constituents.
About the bathroom, well, you were telling us you were getting complaints about not having a bathroom. Now you're getting complaints about the fact that we've made a solution for the
You
bathroom.
know, this can be improved, Louis.
That's what you're saying.
This can be improved by lowering the amount, that's all I'm getting at, if you guys don't wanna lower the amount now, if you think it's not too much money, then vote on it. I want the bathroom for my constituents, but it's too much money. That's the only point I'm trying to make. We can move on, since you guys don't wanna have a rational discussion about this, that's fine.
Can I ask a couple questions? So it's currently budgeted at $135,000, if we are able to complete this project at a lower cost, and there are funds left over, can we allocate that to capital improvement projects?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And I know,
It's simple, it doesn't, I don't feel the problem is, because if it's a dime, then you know what's left.
well, I mean, I,
To work with.
I-
So it's a simple solution. This money was allocated with the thought that that's a possible cost. And it costs quite a bit less, quite naturally, you would not spend it. That's on any project. You don't spend it just because you got it. That doesn't make sense.
Well, that's exactly what you're advocating for. You don't spend it just because you've got it, which is precisely what happens when you spend the money left over from the project that you allocate. $135,000, you spent 50, so you said, we got the money, it's allocated, let's spend it. That's exactly what happens. And that's exactly the
That
point
might be
I'm trying to
right.
make. You just contradicted yourself.
And
No. No, it happens in the world of government. I'm a student of government and it's
In
weaknesses.
this budget, we have cut it to the bare minimum to make sure that we could provide the services that the citizens have requested and need. Everything in this budget.
I agree, it's very conservative, but it could be better.
Well, a lot of things could be better. A lot.
so what can we do? So the process is to get 3 bids for the project.
That is the process, Commissioner Patterson, but we're not even there.
I understand, I'm just,
What we're trying to do is pass a budget, allocate money to get these things done. Now, if they come in less, we're better off for it.
And it's based on forecasted revenues and forecasted expenses.
And budgets change all the time. They're either amended to suit the needs, or you have the money that is actually left over. So, I mean, you know, we just heard the young lady make a presentation. She has a $300,000 shortfall. So guess what? We also have a Boys and Girls Club that is in trouble.
sure,
So there's places where if these bathrooms are $20,000, that means there is 100 and what?
15 left.
115 left, that we can actually show up some of these other entities that need help. So right now, you know, the thing is, without knowing the exact cost, we have come in with $135 for the possibilities of building a bathroom.
And these are projections.
Exactly. We don't know what they're gonna cost.
We hope the revenues meet it. We hope our expenses don't exceed what are projected.
I understand.
Well, in Home Depot lately, and tried to buy anything, the price of about everything's through.
And Don mentioned, and I'm not putting John out here, but there's some things that I think could be and should be said today. One of the reasons we purchased the backhoe was the simple fact we did not want to burden the citizens with a stormwater fee. Our public works said they possibly could help us with the stormwater if we purchase a new piece of equipment, which we put in the budget. The other thing to this is that piece of equipment is going with the agreement to Sam. So we won't have one. Now, whether it's fair or not, whether leasing a space or not is the way to go, that's the way the agreement was written up. And so that's where we are with this. So there's just certain things that we need to do And again, this is meeting number 5. And today, we want to throw a monkey wrench into what we had all agreed on, and quite frankly, I don't appreciate it.
What's the purpose of the handrails? I don't ever remember getting a explanation of that. I just wanna be enlightened. What's the handrails at Paul Braxton for? 16,000.
Paul Braxton?
Paul Braxton handrails, yeah. What's that for? Is that a safety issue? Y'all worried about liability or you think we need it because of that?
The going in, I believe it's at the pit center, going in and out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all did talk about it. Sorry, I'd forgotten about that. Thank you.
John was saying that.
But just to Alex's point, if it's a very easy thing, we can change it to 50, we're appropriating, I think, $280,000 with the fund balance, so. Say we reduce it down to 50, all right, that appropriated fund balance becomes 200,000, and let's say in a couple of months, once we have the bids back. It sounds like we're not doing two, male, female, it sounds like we just want a unisex one. If it comes out and it's 45, great, no problem, don't need to do anything, but let's say all of our bids come back and it's 60,000. It's a very simple budget amendment, it's not a huge issue. I agree, at 135, if it's a unisex bathroom, obviously way too much. It's not hard for us to just change to 50 and alleviate that potential concern.
If we go unisex,
Yeah.
which hasn't been decided.
Exactly. So, right now, the allocation is 2 male bathrooms, and more than likely male and female.
Yeah,
Because the unisex has never been discussed, it's just the need for the matter. So, we would be better suited to leave it where it is, and if the board. Comes back and decides that it's going to be unisex, and then we will take the appropriate action at that time.
Let's please get a quote for both. I think we talked about that.
Okay, well, that'd be great, because that will give us a better idea of what we can do with what we have. And if we, like you said, decided for the unisex, then we cut the price in half.
Mayor, the handrails at all rights now, I'm pretty sure that's the historic concrete bleachers were out there on the football field. That was when the handrails were laid together.
That's right,
Yeah, you're right.
because of
All right.
safety issues.
Yeah. Because we did have them pressure washed, cleaned up, and we wanted to utilize those for, any kind of sporting event that was.
And
Thank you for that
We also
correction.
wanted to save money by preserving what we had instead of building the bleachers. And so the handrails was a way to try to do that.
Thanks, Jeff. And again,
You ready? This time I'll make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 2025 budget ordinance.
Second.
then moved on the second, that we approve the 2025 budget ordinance, all in favor by sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed having the same right. Hearing none, motion carried, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All business.
Mayor, do
Yes,
we
sir.
approve anything that's fee schedule?
Yeah, I need a separate motion for the fee schedule.
You want to change the fee schedule so we can highlight?
Yes,
Same one here, right?
This one.
Is that- this one that we just, yes, we've already went over it. Sanford, came back with some changes. They're highlighted, the deposit amount for everyone's now gonna be 75, it's not gonna be a residential and a commercial.
The only changes are to the utilities fee schedule.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's, and they're highlighted in yellow.
Did we? That was going to be, that deposit was refundable, or how was that going to be handled at the end of, say?
For our meeting today, you know.
Not.
So I'm pretty sure there's a refundable policy. I can get that with you.
Motion is to approve the fee schedule.
Then moving on to second, that the new fee schedule for water is approved, all in favor by sign of aye.
Aye.
All opposed having the same right, hearing none, motion carried.
Just clarification, was your motion for all fee schedules or just for water?
For all. Yeah.
Let me redo that, then I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion with we approve all the fee schedule.
Second.
So moved, probably second, all fee schedules be approved. All in favor by sign of aye. All opposed having the same right. Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you much. All right. On business.
Are we gonna
Jack?
Yeah, Mayor, I'll take that. The board asked for the staff to put together and bring it to review. Obviously, this is a very good man that can sign, but on the board, one, keep at it. With the help of the fire chief, John, and, Aaron Williams, we put together this draft, for your review, and I think you can take two approaches. We can take a moment to go over it and ask some questions if you like, or we could, get it home and respond back after this. It's up to the board, Mayor.
What is the pleasure of the board on this matter?
I like to take it home and review it. And perfectly fine.
All right. Is everybody in agreement?
Yeah.
New business, managers report.
Yes. Mayor, got your calendar I laid out in front of you. That's pretty much all I've got this evening. We'll point out a couple things coming up. We're gonna do a Main Street site visit with the Department of Commerce next Tuesday with the group of us. Also, just another point next week that something that this board has talked about a few times is the reentry simulation event. It's gonna be at the Center of Active Living. That was some interest before. Encourage folks to attend that. And then our next meeting will be on June 16th. And there's some other things there. We can take a look at those ones I want to point out.
So the task, all offices will be closed for the 19th.
The 19th is a holiday that the staff been giving us right. And we have another holiday in June 4th. It's a Friday.
So I have a couple of things. So you'll see your sticker that was
Yeah, I like that.
put out for you. That's something Commissioner Hauser helped us with. His idea. So we brought it to life. So these are outdoor stickers, and Public Works has placed these on all of the trash receptacles downtown. Parks and Rec has started placing these in and around the park facilities. We've placed them in town buildings. We're giving you all one. We want you to find somewhere to put them. And then your homework, you have to send it to Brianna where you put it.
Thank y'all for putting it
Yeah,
together.
put this up somewhere.
Yeah. And take a picture where you put it.
Fine. That's easy.
So, anyhow, we've got several more, but, again, anyone scans the code and it goes right, directly to our website, to our question, comments and concerns. And the emails come directly to Brianna and then we direct them out to the appropriate town staff. And, we'll ensure that everyone's, we already have people that use them and it does really well. So anyway, we're excited about it. Just a quick little thing. Next thing, as you know, we've got the George Dark and Mary Newby event coming up June 28th. We have the invitations in. So Brianna will be following up with y'all sometime tomorrow to get your email list of people that you want to mail them to. So we can kind of get that wrapped up. The families are really excited. And so, like I said, we'll kind of finishing all that up, but we do have the invitations and we'll get the addresses and we will mail those for y'all. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Board, got any more comments?
Speaking of trash, there's a healthy bit this week on Friday. Skidoo, City Development Organization in partnership with Mount Terra Community Care Project, sorry. We'll be cleaning up an area, in Siler City. So just kind of want to put that out there. Thanks for your efforts, Liz. Helping us keep our town clean.
Commissioner, was that in this area that you're speaking of?
It is Mount, Liz,
Mount Vernon area?
So Mount Vernon is where we're moving, but it's 421, is from 421 up to Blossom is a part that we did, already that we're gonna be working on, and then downtown, there's gonna be a couple of lots, but there's nothing saying we can't just get out there and we'll have enough interns, summer interns to knock some streets out of, lots that we need to have.
Can we pick up vests and bags anywhere?
Yes,
Yes.
I will have vests and I will have bags, but we can also put them on the town.
Yeah, I have some vests left over from our, past. Stuff, so, be happy to break those, David.
We can help you with, trash bag, the orange bags and stuff.
Okay. Can we, designate who's contact person for pick up bags with town?
We have those, in the maintenance closet. Brianna, are you okay with them contacting?
Yeah,
You,
that's fine.
yeah, they can contact Brianna and, we will get buildings and grounds to get them out and have them available.
Jack, on the 24th on 26th, where are we doing that?
At the church? Yeah, that's it.
I was thinking, working on that, we made the details.
United Methodist Church, or do we not know yet?
We do not know yet, but we will get work on that tomorrow.
Last. Okay, real quickly, I didn't hear anybody else speak up, yesterday was the 30th anniversary of the Hispanic Liaison, and it was very well attended. It was a nice event, and, I wanna thank, Kimberly and Brianna for supplying the tickets, so we could attend that. Really impressive turnout, really was, I wish more people from this side, since they're located here, would have been there, but. As time is by, we hopefully will up that attendance. We talked briefly about, an internship last week. And I was calling it pretty much a shadow program. Brianna, is that you, Arian, is that you back there?
Yes.
Okay, I can't see that far. And I was hoping you was here, and Jack and Kimberly has put together some paperwork. Miss Arian Walden, will be our first person to do the shadow program. I still like that word better. And let me lay it out for you. She'll spend time with Jack, she'll spend time with Kimberly, she'll spend time with Brianna, she'll spend time with John. And this all came about, she is a graduate of Winston-Salem State, and I had the conversation with her during the Chicken Festival, and you know, you graduate from college, but you're still not sure which direction or career path you want to go in. So we briefly talked about it and come up with the idea, and I talked with Jack and Mayor Pro Tem Faley, who is already taking it to Jordan Matthews over the graduation season, and talked with the principal. So as I told someone today, when you have ideas like this, if you don't move on them, they're down the vine. So we're bringing beyond Arian in as soon as we get all the paperwork figured out and a schedule. And we'll work with her on her schedule, so I just wanted to let that be duly noted. Hopefully, next summer, we will have more students, more people by putting the word out much earlier. And it's still not too late, because we do have a contract at Jordan Matthews. And if need be, we can expand that horizon. But I did want to make the board aware of that possibility. Last but not least, which should excite everybody, Juneteenth, the Main Street people will be here to give us a look over. And if all goes well, we're hoping to become a Main Street community. We're asking all merchants and anybody else that wants to get involved in this to take part in that. I did look at one of the concerns that Commissioner Hauser had about the covering of the windows and what that would look like as far as an ordinance, so that is also to be worked on. And I did talk with Josh Harris about just doing a walkthrough and talking to the merchants about removing some of that, whatever it is on their windows. I did go down and look at it. I'm not sure what it is. Looks like sheets of paper and, but we have to be consistent across the board. With how we do that.
I agree. I think it looks a lot better to try to go talk to them individually and see if they'll do it voluntarily rather than change ordinance. Try that route and then try compelling the ordinance.
Okay. All right.
I think we're fair with them.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes. Yes.
you. Finish.
Yes.
I would like for us to do, again, each of us recommend a citizen from Siler City that we feel has helped the community and done a lot for our community like we did before. That's okay.
That sounds good because we do have a Asian, I want to say it's so correct, but yeah, Asian population that we have not acknowledged for probably years of service. And I think we need to really get into that, and we have young people doing things too, and middle-aged people, but I wanna make sure that we give them their flowers while they're there. So,
There's a lot of people that spend a lot of time, so still hate to leave it.
so if we do this on a however basis, every 3 months, monthly, however you guys want to do it. We can probably get through quite a few people that have made great contributions to the politics. That's all I wanted to bring forward. Please remember Juneteenth, June 10th. So that we can really come together and celebrate our community and move it forward. There is one other thing. I did talk with Senator Natalie on yesterday. She was at the event and the budget is moving through the legislature. They're gonna have some discussions, but we should know where we stand. For those of you that don't know, we asked for about $25 million for different projects, and we should know where we stand shortly. So, that's another, feather in our cap if we get that moved. So that's all I have, and if the board.
Is there a specific time that, Main Street people are coming on the 10th?
Yes, they'll be here from 9 to 11.
Is that open, rotating, or is it like a program from 9 to 11?
9 to 10, they're in the Welcome Center. We're meeting with them, and then 10 to 11, we'll walk in around town.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jane had it back Lloyd last night, very on the movements and.
No, we should move the same.
She did it, just saying very good.
Oh, I think the town is born. You know what, thank you guys for coming out, and I hope that you got something out of it, and we don't argue, we have discussion. And we can work our way through it, so.
Sometimes it's okay to argue.
So, with that, and this.
It's okay to argue, guys. Good discourse.
Yeah, we did.
Seconds. Yeah.